don't think I'm going to do that festival this year, Steven.
Which one? Made in America? Or
Any of them.
Anyone?
Well, yeah, Made in America.
No, you're not going to want to do it like forever, and then when it leads up to it, like the day of, you're going to be like, I'm going to do it. And then you're going to get there and you're going to be like,
I hate this.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Why am I here?
You'll love it for about the first like 20 minutes, and then you'll despise it.
But this year, if I did, I think I would just call the pizza place and be like, guys, here's $100, bring me 10 pizzas.
Oh yeah, the one place always delivers a bunch, right?
Well, they did. I called them. They like couldn't find me.
Didn't you get like?
I ordered
a bunch for the whole press tent.
Well, I didn't order for. I ordered 2 pizzas because you know what happens. Everybody wants some, but no. Maybe next time I'll be like $100. This is brought to you by Frono's Photo.
Well, me and you only ate like a couple slices last year and gave it to everyone else.
Basically,
yeah.
But no, that pizza's good. That was actually really good pizza. But no, that's what happens at those festivals.
I will not be shooting it this year, or if I do, it's only going to be Sunday, Labor Day weekend, Made in America.
Yeah,
because I have my sister's wedding that Saturday.
You have so many siblings.
I know. I have 5 siblings.
Holy 5!
Big family. Sutter's got a big family too. He's what are you? 5?
Yeah, 1 of 5.
Yeah,
1 of 5.
I'm 1 of 6.
1 of 2. All right, we ready?
Mm-hmm.
I've got a special guest to introduce this week's RAWtalk episode. Here we go. That's right. That's the bobblehead is introducing the show, but Jared Polin, phronosphoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk episode number 91. The bobblehead is officially available and is that amazingly amazing photo accessory I was talking about in the boxes that everybody's
the
like...
revolutionary.
The revolutionary, maybe once in a lifetime or once in an eon. Yeah, you can see the commercial that Steven did a tremendous job cutting up. We put a lot of work into making a 3-minute commercial for the bobblehead, which you can check out at store.phronosphoto.com. But the bobblehead is pretty darn cool. It comes already with 2 AA batteries installed. You may need to pull a pull tab, which means taking the bottom off because I don't want the batteries to go bad before they get to you. But it says 10 different sayings, which is awesome in lo-fi sound, recorded very well with these Rode microphones, played back. Very low quality, but actually it's not that bad. They're pretty good. It's better than the other bobbleheads we tested out.
Way better.
But this is the bobblehead. It's about 8 inches tall for anybody that can't see it at home. It says I Shoot Raw on my shirt on the front. It says I Shoot Raw on the wristband. It has my Frono's Photo logo on the back. It's really, and it has a fro pick in the hair, and it's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, and this has been in the making for, I don't know, what, 6 months?
Well, honestly, 4 years. One of the earliest things.
We've always wanted it, yeah.
I've always wanted to do a bobblehead, but I couldn't put out the money back in the day, say 3.5 to 4 years ago, because it just wasn't a smart idea. But now I think it's a great marketing thing. I also think I think people would like to have it on their desk. It is funny. It says things. It's not. We had the opportunity of doing a regular bobblehead, and the problem with the regular
non-talking
bobblehead,
one, right?
non-talking, it doesn't do anything, and it would have been lighter. Because keep in mind, I'm doing a flat rate shipping, and I'm also doing flat rate shipping to Canada and the UK. It's just more expensive than the bobblehead itself to ship because it is a £1.50. Because of the base and the batteries and the mechanisms to talk. It is what it is. I wish that it was like $4 shipping, but there's no $4 shipping anyway. So anyway, that's it. If you want to pick up a Frono's Photo bobblehead, you can do so at store.phronosphoto.com. There are limited quantities. I'm not sure I will ever order these again because
they took forever.
Well, it took a while, and I'm not sure that I would do them again. So these are limited edition. They're not signed or anything.
All
I didn't even think about that. They are all hand-painted. It was molded based off of me. They took a butt mold to get my butt right, but that's about it on that. So this week we're going to be talking about, we've got photo news, we've got Wheel of Fro, we've got some gear to talk about. We have a special guest, Michael Zorn, who has been photographing Springsteen since 2007 with special access. Been doing Bannaroo for the last couple years.
God, I want that job.
Yeah, he's got a job shooting. He does mostly live shows, live shooting, but he does do behind the scenes things that you can see on his Instagram, and you're going to hear his whole story and just being truthful and honest about how he made it in photography or how he's working his way to making it even more, because I don't think we ever feel like we've made it.
No. Well, especially you.
But what do you mean?
All the time. I don't know if I'm where I'm at where I want to be, but as you're constantly growing and growing.
But you know, they always say if you ever like get on stage and you don't feel at least scared or you don't worry about something, then you probably don't care as much anymore.
I still get the butterflies every time, and I'm on stage once a month for the radio station.
I've never done that before.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Steven at the radio station, he will go on stage and introduce bands. Who have you introduced?
I don't even know at this
Well,
point.
311.
Yeah, a lot of the times, though, lately, the past year or so, it's mainly just me going up with the camera, and I have, like, Wendy or someone else who I work with introducing the band, and then I'll go and take some pictures, which I'd rather do. But
That's
still
cool.
just stepping foot on that stage is,
That's cool. So before we jump into photo news, which we're going to do, I will be in Seattle from July 10th through 12th for Creative Live. Now, you don't need to be in Seattle to come out and watch. You can watch online for free during the live broadcast. If you can't make the live broadcast, it is going to be for sale, so you can purchase the playback. You can do all of that stuff, but I will be out there teaching for 3 days, so you can tune in any of those days or all of those days. We're talking about taking the fear out of low-light photography, and if you are in Seattle and you want to be a part of the studio audience, you can sign up, and I'm going to select the people that are going to get to go there on the 10th, 11th, and 12th and be part of the class. So if you can only make it for 1 day, that's perfectly fine with me. That's going to be free.
That's awesome.
You get selected. I think we're going to have 6 students that are going to help. And the reason I told them, I'm like, I need to pick the people because I need people that are going to ask the questions that I know are going to be good questions, and you guys out there are going to do that because you know what I like. So that's pretty important. And we're going to do, Steven's coming.
I will be there.
We are going to do a RAWtalk mobile from Creative Live.
Live on location.
I think there's going to be about 50 tickets for that. I haven't decided.
Wait, did you pick a venue or anything?
We're
yet?
going to do it at Creative Live.
Okay.
Because they have the lights, they have all that stuff, and we're going to just bring the cameras and the microphones. So if you're in that area, I don't have the sign-up form yet because I don't know that I'm going to sell tickets because they're covering like expenses to come out there, so it's not like I need to pay for the venue and stuff this time. But I think I may just do you have to bring a white envelope, and whatever you put in the white envelope is whatever you want to put in the white envelope. Maybe I'll just say this. Put 1 bill in the white envelope.
Oh, like a donate or tip jar kind of thing?
Whatever you want.
Gotcha.
I think I may just do that, and it may be the first 50 or 60 people that show up get in, or what. But I think it's going to be a great opportunity because we're going to do live rapid-fire questions, maybe, possibly, or something. We'll figure that out. But keep an eye out for those. But yeah, definitely watch live or buy the class. All right, let's get into photo news.
Photo news, we have Amazon unveiled their new Fire phone, which comes...
Fire!
Was that a Fall Out Boy fire? Or...
No, that was probably AC/DC.
Oh, okay. Their new Fire phone, it comes complete with a 13-megapixel camera. It features a 5-element f2 lens and optical image stabilization, not digital, which is great. Shoots the standard 1080p video at 30 frames per second, has an intelligent HDR mode, panoramic mode, burst mode, also has a 2.1 megapixel front-facing camera for those perfect selfies. Has a dedicated camera button which launches the camera app immediately instead of like a volume button like some other phones do. And it will automatically back up your photos on Amazon's cloud drive. It comes with free unlimited cloud storage, which is great, video and photos. And the smartphone is set to arrive on July 25th and starts at $199 with a 2-year contract.
Yeah, I'd never buy that phone, especially first generation.
Well, because you're such an Apple head, that's why.
It's not even that. It's an Amazon phone that's built around selling more shit on Amazon. It has a dedicated button to click to buy right from the store. Like you could take a picture of an item and it will find it in the Amazon store. I think there's 100 million or 100,000 items it will find if you take a picture. But what I found interesting about this, and the reason I said, hey, I sent it over to you to talk about, was a couple things. Unlimited cloud storage. We may start seeing this in the future for more companies. That if they want you to use their service, they may, like Apple, maybe they'll start doing unlimited cloud storage for your photos.
5 gigs they cap off at, right?
It's like 5 gigs. Yeah, it's not even bad. Actually,
yeah,
it's pretty good. And it's maybe $2 more to get more.
I still don't use it. I should.
I don't want my photos syncing everywhere.
That's the thing. Me too.
Just in case, because there's a movie coming out. Speaking of movies, Frono's Movies. The podcast is available on iTunes. Just look for Frono's Movies, all one word, and you can listen to the first 3 episodes that we've done. The reason I bring that up is because we're going to talk about a trailer called Sex Tape.
Okay.
Where Jason Segel and Cameron Diaz make a sex tape, and somehow it ends up in the cloud.
I just saw a trailer for that like 2 days ago.
So that's one of the reasons I don't like putting all the photos. Not saying I'm making sex tapes with my phone. It's just, oops, there's a picture of some girl I took out in the cloud. You don't want that going to everybody.
Yeah.
But so cloud storage is cool. I also saw that T-Mobile just started something where they are not going to count data usage from Pandora, Spotify, and things like that against your
streaming
credit.
Services?
Right. So if one starts doing that, maybe that will start to dominate the market, and they'll be like, all right, maybe that's a new thing, because maybe they're getting paid. Maybe they're getting a kickback from Pandora and Spotify. This is the future. This is what we talked about, net neutrality and stuff. Allowing there was some kind of thing coming up where they may allow companies to pay for the data that you use as like advertising. So if Spotify paid for your data, but you still use their service, it doesn't cost you streaming time.
Yeah,
that could be good. But the main reason I wanted you to talk about that is the image stabilization and the F2. What is very interesting is now you're starting to see people start to give a shit about what F2 means and what image stabilization means.
The fact that that's even in the press release.
Right. So they're focusing on photography terms, which is starting to maybe make people think about photography more. And that's why I'm not worried about all the iPhone pictures and things that people are doing, because maybe this is branching people off into the way that they may want to become a photographer and become more educated. And when they want to be more educated, whose website do they find? Ken Rockwell's. And then they find mine, because I'm listed number 2 when you search Ken Rockwell or something.
The other great thing is they posted a sample image like compared to the iPhone 5S along with like the Galaxy.
My friend took that.
Really?
Simon.
Oh.
He not Simon Pollock, Simon Johnson.
Johnson?
He runs digital photo school.
Oh,
no,
nice.
He runs DP Review.
So they gave him like a
DP Review. DP Review is owned by Amazon.
Ah, interesting. Well, that all makes sense. But yeah, you can clearly tell how this one's sharper and just overall the quality looks a little better. I mean, it's a sample image taken at night, so yeah. Let's see, we have Sony has unveiled the first image of their new curved full-frame sensor. The curvature is supposed to mimic the human eye and promises 1.4 times better sensitivity in the middle and 2 times better sensitivity in the corners.
I love corner sensitivity. I always want better in the middle, though.
Sony are working on both a full-frame and mobile phone-sized curved sensor.
I don't get it. Like
they just claim it's better
resolution.
They say the noise is also much less because of the way it's.
But I'm just wondering, light's going to hit the curve before it hits the center. Is there going to be a focus issue? You know, because that's why you use
this stuff. It's well over my head.
Tilt shift lenses. Like, I don't understand anything about the curve.
Well, and they said something also about the lenses are going to have to improve, or they will be improved because. The old lenses already kind of are made to work with a straight sensor, where these ones are going to have to be, it's going to be better quality.
Straight sensor? That's racism.
What?
All right? Equality. All right?
A flat sensor, I should say.
Yeah, right. There's no difference, straight, gay, either way.
Curved.
Come on.
Whatever.
Equality in
you
camera
know what
sensors.
I mean. Don't mess up my words.
But you know what's also funny is in Brazil, they've got the World Cup going on, and I saw this post, I think Petapixel posted it this morning after you picked your photo news. They're like, look, everybody that's shooting on the sidelines has to wear a photo vest, and it says Sony Alpha on it.
Oh, really?
But not one person is shooting
with
Sony on the sideline.
That is very interesting. Yet all the sensors are probably made with Sony, by Sony.
Not Canon's.
Canon's not? Who's Canon made by?
Canon.
Oh, okay. There's a new app similar to Uber that now lets you find and request a nearby photographer. It's called PicQuest and allows photographers to sign up and upload a mini profile, which clients can then view when they're in the area and need a photographer. Clients can browse the app, follow photographers' profiles, view the profiles, send them messages, and hire them all within the app. It's a free app, only available on iOS, though, currently, with an Android version coming soon for you, Sutter. So we'll see how this... I honestly don't think this is really going to do much.
I think it's one of the dumbest freaking ideas I've ever heard.
I think it's an interesting concept, but I don't think it's a realistic
Well, it's interesting, but
concept.
We know as photographers, what are you going to do? You're going to be getting engaged in the park at 7 o'clock, so you pick somebody on this app that has going to show up. It's not like a car service. You get Uber, and you for a specific reason. A car is going to come and pick me up, and just about anybody can drive a car. Not everybody's going to be able to take your photos. They're going to be great. You're not going to last minute call and be like, I need a house photographer, you know? And then you go, boop, boop, boop. Oh, this guy's available.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how it works.
I can just see it being a bunch of photographers following another bunch of photographers on this app. It's just going to be a photography ran app. I mean, obviously, you're not going to hire a photographer when you're one.
It just seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah. Well, unless it's your own wedding or something like that.
Oh, wait a second. I'm getting married in 2 hours. Hold on.
Go
Hold
to
on.
PicQuest.
I didn't pick a photographer yet. this guy is the guy I want to pay. Oh, it's only $35? Okay.
Let me send a message real quick.
Hey,
can you
do
shoot
this?
my wedding in 2 hours?
Like, that's not how photography works. It's like we're waiting for that call to come in.
It's very true. I mean, I don't think it'll really take off. But
Terrible
we'll
idea, PicQuest.
I will say the app itself looks very nice and flows pretty well. But
Good for you, PicQuest. One more thing, Steven.
Yeah.
I vacuumed the table this morning.
I know. It's much, much cleaner, and I don't have to pick stuff off every 5 seconds.
You were right. I didn't realize I need to go vacuum the table.
It was pretty bad.
So I vacuumed the table.
Do
Do you know how to spell vacuum, Sutter?
Do I know how to spell vacuum?
Yeah.
Is it VACUM?
No.
UUM, right?
It's it's one C, but there's 2 U's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
UUM.
I was pretty good at spelling bee.
I was terrible at spelling B. They're like, spell B. I'm like, B.
B.
No.
Done.
Ding. That's B-E-E.
That's today's text language. B.
Yeah.
So we have a photographer named Brandon Griffiths took 364 pinhole cameras with 35mm film and placed them onto a circular custom-built rig and created a Matrix-style bullet time video. This project took him 4,382 hours to complete from start to finish, which is insane. It's about like 6 months, I think he took. He posted the final video along with the whole behind-the-scenes making and processing of the whole shoot, which is interesting. I think overall he took like 1,000 photos for it. But yeah, I mean, to spend this much time on a personal project, I guess he had a lot of money coming in from somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, or just was interested and it didn't take up that much time, though it took that much time.
Well, I was going to say, that's a lot of hours right there.
That's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Before you move on. Did anybody find a camera in the ocean this week?
Nobody found a camera in the ocean this week. This is probably one of the first weeks that we don't have a discovered lost camera from newlyweds.
We're going to do this. We're going to do it.
Do what?
We're going to get a bottle.
Photo in a bottle.
Yeah. Will you stop singing? No, we're going to do this. We're going to put a memory card. We're going to film video we're going to film a video. Hey, if you find this, type of thing. And then we're going to throw it in the ocean.
And then about an hour later, someone 20 feet down the beach is going to be like, I found it.
I found it. Gotcha.
And we'll probably spend about 4,000 hours doing that too.
Maybe we'll do multiple bottles.
Yeah.
But we got to use like good memory cards. SanDisk or Lexar.
I would say, yeah, I was going to say a lot of these stories have been just random memory cards. I mean, Lexar and SanDisk, yeah, but there's been other one-off brands that have survived, GoPro has teamed up with BMW and has added the ability to control GoPro cameras right from within the Beamer's dashboard.
Go, gadget, GoPro.
Any owners of 2012 BMWs or later can take control of this offer. You have to have the app, and this is what doesn't make sense. So you have to have the app installed on your phone, which then needs to be connected via the lightning cable to the dash for this to work. So it's not really a built-in feature. However, you can view live view, but only when the car is in park. So it's kind of like you're just hooking up your phone and
hitting record,
and using it as like an external monitor.
Wait, hold on. I don't have a BMW. How can I do this? Wait. I'm going to put it on the dashboard. I'm going to hit the button, and it's going to blink. Integration into any car.
I was going to say, get one of those little mounting phone things, mount it up, and it's the same exact thing.
Done.
Except it's not on like a 7-inch, nice monitor.
But it's not in a BMW.
And it's not a BMW.
Because what we need more of is more car footage on your GoPro. I mean, you know what? It needs to just beam it straight to the cloud and just let people watch it the whole time, just in case.
So we have 2 new autonomous camera drones have been announced this week, one being called the Hexo Plus and the other being dubbed the Air Dog.
Glass. I think I like the horizontal better.
They're both extremely similar in both Kickstarter campaigns. The Hexo Plus uses your iPhone as a tracking device and flies with a top speed of 43 miles an hour, which is freaking fast.
43 miles an hour?
43, man. That thing will chop your head off. It has 6 blades with stabilization.
You know what they need to do?
What?
They need to connect it to a cheetah and then have the cheetah run and see if it keeps up with it.
Is a cheetah that? I thought it's faster. Isn't it like 60 a cheetah goes?
I don't know.
I thought it was like 70.
Yeah, I thought it was like 60 or 70.
All right, fine. Hook it up to a BMW, set the cruise control while the GoPro is running to 40.
Yeah, but you won't be able to view it in the the BMW
All right,
because
but-
it's not in park.
Okay, but it would follow a car. Go ahead, I'll let you go.
No, put the BMW onto a tow truck and then drive it while it's in park. All right, so we have, again, the Hexo Plus. It uses your iPhone as tracking. It has 6 blades with stabilization built in, lets you choose how far and from what angle it films at, which is nice. So $300 will get you a do-it-yourself kit for you to build yourself. I think they give you like the blueprints and stuff like that, the 3D graphics. $600 will get you a ready-made Hexo Plus without a GoPro, and $700 will get you the Hexo Plus with a GoPro Hero 3, not 3 Plus. But it's not bad for an extra $100 to get.
I'm kind of interested in that. That's cool.
That's a really good price. The campaign has reached its goal of $50,000, and this is the crazy part. It's already exceeding $700,000 with about 3 more weeks to go. So this thing just blew up. Then we have the AirDog, which got announced a couple days later. It uses a wrist-worn waterproof hardware tracker instead of your phone. It's also a foldable compact drone versus the Hexo Plus, so you can fold all the blades up and travel with it. It has 4 blades versus 6. You can also manually control it if you want to via the camera app. It has a gyro-stabilized gimbal for mounting GoPros, very similar to the Hexo Plus. The AirDog will cost you $1,200 for those willing to pledge, which is $300 cheaper than it'll be once it's released to the market. So it'll be about $1,500. They've also surpassed their goal of $200,000 and are currently at $255,000 with about a month to go. So I think the AirDog offers more, but it's also double the price.
Well, so this is interesting.
Almost.
You said to me the day that they came out, 2 things that did the same thing were released the same day on Kickstarter at different prices.
Not the same day.
Oh, it wasn't?
Very close. It was like a couple days apart.
So here's the thing. The AirDog is the more expensive one.
Correct.
The AirDog, it's an interesting study in I guess psychology and pricing. One is priced at half and has sold a hell of a lot more at a less price. So there's more people that have latched onto it, which means you get more brand awareness and you get more people using your product quicker because you did it at a lower price. The other one's at a higher price and hasn't sold nearly as many. They still met their goal.
Barely met their goal.
I think the idea is really unique.
Very unique.
I didn't
yeah.
even, I never thought of that.
Well, this was rumored months and months ago.
Was it?
Yeah, and I want to say the AirDog was the original one that was rumored, but yeah, this Hexo Plus came out of nowhere.
So it's pretty cool to basically have this thing track you. But what if it loses connection? None of that was talked about.
They said how far it goes, but I forget the actual, I forget how far it is.
So in
The
essence,
reach.
I mean, the AirDog looked like the better one. I mean, it's ugly as shit.
I was going to say that it looks like a cheap low end one.
They shouldn't have done those colors. They
Yeah.
should have made it like black and stealth
it looks like it's
looking.
from the 80s or
Right.
something. But the features are much better.
But the wrist thing seems interesting, but most people may not want to do that. They may just want to put the phone in their pocket.
and it is big. The wrist thing
It is big. It looks like a
the size of
Tetris
GoPro.
piece.
Yeah.
But what's cool about it is you control the angles and the distance. I mean,
From the wristband itself.
it's a very unique idea that, look, if you're skateboarding on your own and you just want the thing to follow you, or you're just making a movie and you want to make it by yourself and you want it to track a subject and set the distance and set the height, that stuff is pretty cool. Be interesting to see if DJI is able to come out with something added on to theirs.
the Vision 3 or whatever, I don't know. Or
Who knows?
2++.
Pretty cool.
Now, I have a dirt bike, for example, and I would love something like this. And I think the AirDog is the one that had the dirt bike featured in it, but that's something that I would definitely get. I want to get one of these things. I would probably get the Hexo Plus just because it's so much cheaper.
Well, when it says that it has a two-axis gimbal, is that different than the 3-axis
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Just 2 is just don't you want the 3-axis stabilization?
Yeah, because I want to say 2 is just front and side to side, where 3 is kind of like all over the place.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it is.
Very
I'm
interesting.
sure we'll get one of these one day. Now, Adobe has updated their Creative Cloud.
Let's unbox it and give it a snippy snip.
They've updated their Creative Cloud platform with various upgrades. Photoshop CC received new improvements, including new motion blur effects and more powerful content-aware tools. There's a lot of...
Does that make any sense to you?
Not really.
Motion effects? Oh, hi, I want to add blur to my image.
Well, sometimes you want to if you depending on what you're shooting, like action sports or something.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff they released on this update. I'm not going to explain it all because it's still new to me as well. So on the website, there's a bunch of different videos I posted. You guys can see them all. There's a lot of updates and breakdown videos. So again, check them all out. They also announced Lightroom Mobile for the iPhone. And they also announced a new app for the iPad called Photoshop Mix, which is basically a simple version of Photoshop for those non-Photoshop users. Someone like myself who's not huge into Photoshop or shortcuts and all that kind of stuff. A lot of the heavy-duty editing work is actually done on the Creative Cloud servers and returned to the mobile app since the mobile infrastructure isn't really there quite yet. So it's a cool concept, and it's really great for those that want to get into Photoshop and want to do that kind of stuff, but don't really understand Photoshop. So Photoshop Mix, kind of a combination between Lightroom and Photoshop for the dummies out there.
So yeah, I got a package from Adobe the other day.
Did you?
I did. They sent a package that was very interesting, and I made an unboxing video that I didn't put up. I didn't edit. I'm not sure that I want to, but it was this black box, and it's like, sit back and put your feet up. So I was hoping that it was going to be like an iPad in there because it was about Lightroom Mobile. I was like, please be an iPad, please be an iPad. Then I open it up, and we've got something for your back, and it was a Lightroom pillow made in the USA.
It's pretty cool though.
The pillow's cool.
Which is bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice pillow. It can go live with the other things.
Well, think about it. I mean, no one's going to have that pillow.
Right. But then they had, there was like almonds in there. So like something to eat. And then they're like, for your iPad. I'm like, is there an iPad in here? No, but it's a pen.
Is it a stylus? Why is it
it's a pen on one side and a stylus on the other.
Okay, I was going to say, what are you going to write on the screen?
So they gave me, there was that, and then there was a pair of socks.
Oh, Sutter definitely
Shoes off, Lightroom Mobile. Literally, they're socks.
What is that, an aperture on there?
It's an aperture.
That's cool.
It says Lightroom. It says, shoes off, Lightroom Mobile on. Lightroom is essential for today's digital photographer, just like socks. Edit, organize, and adjust your photos from anywhere, all while leaning back with your shoes kicked off. Available for iPad. Show us where you learn leaning back with LR Mobile. Sutter, you want these socks?
Sure.
I know, I figured they would be good for you.
Perfect for it.
So
Thank you.
The thing to talk about is how much money did they spend to do this? To send me this freaking box that came
they're
FedEx.
Nice too, and weren't they like all made in the USA too?
Yeah, but they spent a ton of money on this promotion. They should have just given away free stuff. You know, give away free stuff. Because you got to pay a company to create this stuff. You got to then, I mean, they must have dropped a couple $100,000, if not more, to put together. I don't know how many of these they shipped out.
I'm sure they shipped out a good amount.
They contacted me on Twitter, which was cool.
Because it's probably not just photographers, it's graphic designers.
Right.
No, it's Lightroom.
Oh, and it included a free year of Creative Cloud.
Oh,
which I'm waiting
awesome.
for them to activate on my end.
That's cool.
I was like, oh, I don't have that. But also, I think they're sticking with the $9.99 photo bundle officially now.
Yeah, because we've talked about them extending it a billion times.
No, that's
Yeah.
cool though.
Yeah, it is cool. It's a great price. A really good price. Let's see. Moving forward, we have, you'll love this. You'll love this.
You'll love it.
DxO Mark has now crowned the Sony A7S as the low light king, knocking the Nikon DF out of the top spot. It scored a 3,702 in low light versus the DF's 3,279 score.
Oh.
Now, the odd part is that the rest of the sensor score falls short. With the A7 and A7R, it's younger brothers and sisters. Like overall color depth and dynamic range, it fell a lot short. There's also a new low light comparison video between the A7S and the 5D Mark III. Now, the Sony A7S, in my opinion, looks much sharper, a little cleaner, especially at the higher ISOs. So definitely a must-see, and the A7S is something that's great for low light.
You know,
At least it's looking like it.
I think Sony's been around for 10 years at this point trying to make cameras or
I think
making
they're
cameras.
finally getting it.
Yeah, they're getting to a place. I mean, they bought Minolta, which Minolta was always pushing technology forward. I was just looking at Playboy in the bathroom from 1974, and there was
Reading the wonderful articles in
the
there, right?
article. The articles are great.
That's the funny part is you actually are reading the articles.
I am. Those articles are great. But no, there's so many camera ads. Vivitars, Yashica, a lot of Minoltas, Olympus, Nikon, and Canon. But the Minoltas, there's this weird camera, just shaped weird. It took a cartridge. It was totally different. But Minolta has always pushed forward. Their film cameras were very unique, and their first digitals were very good too. So Sony bought into the technology, but Sony has done a great job. We'll see where the next 10 years go if they can start pushing into the professional market. I mean, they make the sensors for the Nikon already, but we'll see what happens. Their sensors are fantastic. They just don't, again, have enough glass.
Yeah, that is the really the only thing I think. But these A7 cameras, I mean, they really did a great job with these, at least so far. A photographer named Alessandro Murga took a stunning image of the Milky Way from the window of an airplane. Now, the image was taken during a transatlantic flight from New York to London and was taken somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean. He used
somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. Na, 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 na. What song is that?
Somewhere over the rainbow.
From what movie?
Oh man,
I don't even remember what movie. What movie again?
She has the dog. It starts black and white, goes color, right?
Keep going. What's the name of this movie?
Oh man,
there's a yellow brick road.
I'm so stuck. I know the whole movie.
There's Little People, part of the Lollipop Guild.
There's flying witches.
There's flying witches,
monkeys.
flying monkeys. There's a wizard behind a curtain.
Oh,
he has.
I'm stuck. Just say it.
I already said half of it. There's
His
a wizard
his name
behind
is
a
Oz.
curtain.
The Wizard of Oz.
Holy God! I'm sorry for anybody out there who had to suffer through that.
I did
thought
forget
you were
what
gonna
movie
sing
though,
Lady
until-
Gaga.
but-
For all
Because I
that.
haven't watched that movie since I was like 4.
Pretty good movie.
It is a classic. So anyway, yeah, a picture of the Milky Way from the window of an airplane. The image was taken again during that flight. He used a Canon 28mm f1.8 lens, wide open, with a Canon Rebel XSI, which I thought most of those cameras didn't really exist anymore. Set to ISO 1600, which is the max for that camera. He took 93 exposures all the way up to 30 seconds, of which only one turned out well, apparently, which was a 10-second exposure, the sweet spot. For the long exposure, he used a Gorilla Pod that he just happened to have that he put between the armrest and the fuselage and covered the camera with a blanket so no inside reflections came through the window.
Yeah, so when the steward is coming by and go, "Excuse me, sir, what are you hiding underneath the blanket?" It's for once, it's not your penis.
Yeah.
But
He's not
there's
part of the
so
Mile
much
High Club.
vibration on a plane. I don't know how you get it stable for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't
10
either.
seconds, I mean.
But it worked out. I mean, it's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty clean for the most part. This is why I personally always pick the window seat, because of stuff like this. And
Not
the
when you
fact
fly
that
with me.
you can, well, yeah, because you usually get the window seat, don't you?
Yeah, I like the window or the aisle, but I prefer the window because I can put my head against it to sleep.
Or you usually book me, so I'm like 4 rows ahead of you.
The one time you flew, that was so happened that you were four rows ahead.
You were like, I didn't know you wanted to sit next to me. I'm like, why would I want to sit by myself?
Oh, I don't know. But when I'm booking you for Seattle,
Yeah.
we're next to each other.
Nice.
And then you're flying home yourself, so you're yourself.
Yeah. Because I got to be home in time for my brother-in-law's bachelor party.
Well,
Or
if we
soon-to-be
go to
brother-in-law.
Europe for Photokina, if we go to Germany or London, which I think if we're going to Germany, I think we're going to do something in London too.
That'll be fun.
Then you'll be flying with me.
That'll be actually my first time out of the country.
You need to get your freaking passport.
I do need to get one.
Like now.
I will get on that as soon as possible. So we have a couple more photo stories. Kanye West is pretty annoyed at Annie Leibovitz for backing out only 24 hours before his wedding. He says he and Kim Kardashian had to edit their own photos to look like Annie's famous style, and Kim did the image. So him and Kim did the image that is now considered the most liked photo ever on Instagram. They did it on their honeymoon. The image was post-processed by the couple for about 4 days. It took them to edit this thing on their honeymoon. And yeah, he pretty much, I don't know, he didn't really bash her or anything. He just kind of said, hey, we had to edit the photos and blah, blah, blah. So they had to
he
hire
bashed her.
some like Instagram photographer, right, or something?
Well, he wasn't an Instagram photographer. He's just like a photographer that has an Instagram following, and he did stuff with Kanye. He was like 22 years old, and he shot the wedding.
Is he the one that posted it?
See, I don't know.
Or is Kanye the one that posted it?
Well, they posted it. Both of them, Kanye and
Gotcha.
and Kim.
Yeah, I don't really care about
Kardashian.
that couple. So
I don't care
follow
about them. I can't stand the celebrity bullshit that they go through and that gets so much press. But 4 days editing a photo.
He said
Whoa.
it took like 4 days. So
It took like 4 days, and we were so
I don't know if that really
tired.
means like took like 3 hours in celebrity time.
I'm glad Annie Leibovitz didn't. She probably chose not to shoot the wedding. Kanye basically accused her of being afraid of celebrity.
Yeah, I saw
It's like,
that too.
Afraid of celebrity.
She's
She
already like
is
the
a
most
celebrity.
iconic. Yeah,
She
one of
shot
the most.
everybody named anybody in life.
Mm-hmm.
She's photographed. She makes more money than he makes. And
I don't know about that.
well, she makes a ton of money with Vanity Fair shooting the covers. She's millions and millions for shoots.
Yeah, but Kanye's shows are not cheap.
No, they're not. But I wouldn't want to go see a Kanye show.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I wouldn't want to pay I wouldn't pay the money
I shot him once
personally. But
in person.
I'm not a huge fan of that style. You know, I don't like rap that much personally.
I photographed him backstage once in a little room.
Yeah, that picture
With John Legend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's still a great photo. You got to blow that one up. That's one of my favorite photos you ever took. Yeah. And then we have one more story, which I didn't write down, which is about the Von Wong's video behind the scenes at the Wall of Jerusalem. Is that
it was in Jerusalem, in the city, inside the walls, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, he did a whole behind the scenes video of his action photography, sports kind of shoot.
Yeah, I wasn't
really interesting stuff.
So he went off on his own. He had a whole different shoot set up. We were somewhere different as a group on the other side of Israel when he went back to Jerusalem, and he had these extreme athletes out there to take photos in Jerusalem, jumping off the walls, going down the bikes, going down through the streets of the city. So he sets up a lot of his lighting, and he processes his stuff heavily. That's just
heavily.
That's how he does it. The shots are cool. They are cool. I was reading some of the comments on F-Stoppers, and people are like, none of these are authentic because they didn't land the trick.
I saw that too.
And I'm like, you know what?
I mean, I'm also not a sports photographer or anything like that. If it's true sports photography as if you're photographing a game or something, that is understandable.
Well, no, they're talking about in skateboarding and action
BMX.
and that type of stuff, that if they don't land it, it's not really ethical to use the image.
What are you going to get a shot of them landing?
Well, sometimes,
it's
if
just,
they didn't,
just
morally, if they didn't land the trick, then you're not supposed to use the image. Like, they gave me shit when I did the skateboarding test video.
Oh, because they fell
because
half the time.
He didn't land that trick.
Yeah,
and it's like nobody would know if these bikers landed their trick if they didn't see the behind the scenes images. Personally, I don't give a shit. I'm looking for a quality image, but that's not my thing. If that is a thing that they go by, then that's a thing that they go by in that type of extreme sport.
Yeah, that niche.
That's not. I personally don't care, but I'm not in that field.
Yeah.
So maybe they care about it.
I mean, it makes sense to a certain degree, but no one's ever going to know.
Yeah.
And that is it. A lot of photo news this week. Whole lot.
Photo news. All right. So coming up, well, right before I talk about, we got Michael Zorn. We got that interview coming up. It's about 35 to 38 minutes long. Road, they're not even plugging this week, but they did select a winner, I believe.
Was
a
it
grand
the
prize winner.
motor
It
scooter?
wasn't the one, My Mom's Motorcycle, which has over 1.5 million views. It was this other one that I didn't write down the name of, but it was the winner. We'll post it on the site. It's kind of interesting. I watched it. I think I liked My Mom's Motorcycle better, but they probably didn't want to pick it because of it being so popular, maybe. And I don't know, but the judges picked it. The one that did win is very interesting, and it made me smile at the end. But it's kind of like Where the Wild Things Are meets Cocoon with like aliens. It was pretty interesting. A kid who's an outcast, and he goes through his life like this, and he has a special friend that he meets.
And he transforms into a butterfly.
A special friend that he meets in the woods, but which he did. So check that thing out. That was my road reel competition, and I think that's the winner.
I will say I watched the motorcycle one, and I could see why they didn't choose it, because the commentary or the audio over the video was not the best quality in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is a microphone company, a sound company, so I think that might be a reason why.
All right.
But I thought the quality of the video and the story being told and everything was fantastic.
Sure.
But just the audio portion I didn't think was the best.
So here we go. Let's get into this interview with Michael Zorn. You're going to find out that he's only really been shooting bands since 2007, musicians. He does a ton of live shows. He gets a ton of access through Getty. He's worked his way up, and he's going to talk about how he made it or is making it, and how he got these gigs, and how he started as a photographer, and how he had the money to start and go into photography as a full-time thing, because that is so important to understand and realize that a lot of photographers do come from a different background before they branch off and venture into photography. They have other things that they've made money at. That's very interesting. So we're going to talk about his trips to Bonnaroo. We're going to talk about some of the people that he photographed for, and the Bruce Springsteens, and he said U2 and Kanye West and Alicia Keys. So there's a whole bunch of them, and it's some pretty good business stuff to think about, and also just cool talking about etiquette in the pit and all that. So here we go. Let's listen to Mr. Michael Zorn and myself have a little conversation here on Frono's Photo RAWtalk. We could play a nice show in here if I had a band in here. It would be pretty amazing.
You don't play?
Oh, I don't play anything. Oh, I have the piano. It plays with itself, though, because it's a player piano.
Like you?
What, I play with myself? Well, in times of need, you do what you need to do. Mr. Michael Zorn, welcome to the Frono's Photo Raw Talk podcasty table and lofty McLofterson.
Thanks, Fro.
Thanks for coming down.
Absolutely.
We actually live pretty darn local to each other.
Yeah, very close.
We're connected very closely because throughout the... well, you married a girl I went to high school with that I had no idea that I went to high school with.
Allegedly, yeah.
What do you mean allegedly? She graduated in 99.
I haven't confirmed this with her yet.
You haven't asked? Why? You didn't try to get the story about
did.
that one time?
I actually tried to get you a date, and I'm working on that.
Nice.
But I didn't mention that it was someone she went to high school with. That failed me.
Oh, it's all right. We had 940 kids in class. I still am
Together?
Yes.
So you did sleep with my wife.
No, I didn't sleep with all 940. I don't even remember. She was probably smart, right?
Yeah, she's
AP classes and
she's
stuff.
a smart girl.
Well,
yes,
it's a good thing because I wasn't in any AP classes. But anyway, people don't want to hear me talking about your wife or my high school days. Let's talk about photography.
Yes.
The first time that we met in the pit, was that the Arcade Fire show?
I believe so. Yeah,
But you've been following stuff for a while?
Yeah, you know what happened? I think Jeff Kravitz turned me on to the interview he did with you a while back.
Way while back.
And I'm like, somehow I know this dude. And then Rich Myers, and we put it together, and there you go.
You know Richie?
Yeah, of course, very well.
Oh, see, I don't even know all this stuff. It's
Philly, man. It's small.
Well, you know Ben Loiner.
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
You don't know Ben? Well,
No.
Richie's
It's not that small.
Richie's a connection there. But anyway.
Okay.
So we met in the pit. You shoot a ton of live shows.
That's my favorite go-to thing.
Your thing is live
concerts,
shows.
Yeah.
Concerts, behind the scenes, everything?
When I have the access behind the scenes, yeah.
Who are you shooting for?
Right now, myself only, or Film Magic, Getty Images.
Well, so you're sort of a freelancer, but you have connections with these Film Magic,
Exactly.
Getty, because so many people out there are like, well, if I don't have an affiliation with anybody, can't I just say I'm going to be shooting and then trying to do something? And,
No.
and it doesn't work like
No.
that. Well, speaking of that, how long have you been doing music, shooting music?
Since 2007, about.
So
late
film.
2007.
Still shooting film back then?
God, no.
You were digital? Oh, 2007. I'm thinking, holy shit. I'm thinking of like 97. I was
No.
shooting digital in 2003. So you were shooting digital. You were shooting shows then.
Yes.
You've noticed the major change with people. How many people have tried to get into the pit?
It's insane. The proliferation of the digital camera, I guess you will, has caused such angst. The people who, I guess we're tooting each other's horns here, are good or great photographers and belong there versus the people who just, clearly don't. And I think that is a problem for us.
How do you work around that?
I just deal with it. I shoot, and you deal with 30 or 40 people, whether it's in the pit, on a red carpet, and you have to just believe that your shots are going to sell and everyone else's are not.
Right. Which is, and I know when we were in the pit at the Arcade Fire, there were 1 million people.
Yeah.
There that day.
Yeah.
Well,
that was packed.
It was packed, but they only gave us half the pit. I, for some reason, had a 200 to 400 lens.
Yeah, that was big, dude.
You
had
were
a lot
stepping
of gear
on
there,
my
yeah.
bag.
Yeah. Well, you had a lot of shit.
I was supposed to shoot from the soundboard. That's
Can I
why.
curse?
You can say whatever you want.
All right.
Just eat the microphone.
All right.
You got it, Eckert? We're good? Yeah. Yeah, I got you your water right over there. So yeah, you're friends with Kravitz.
Mm-hmm.
Kravitz was on RAWtalk a long time ago before we started doing the really good one when Eckert came along.
It's a great interview. Definitely check it out, guys. Go back and check out.
Kravitz is one of the cool... I mean, he doesn't need a step stool in a pit because he's like 6-something.
He's Big Bird.
He's a big guy, and he's out there shooting. So how did you go about getting into it? How did you find your way from, hey, I'm shooting shows to, hey, I'm getting paid to shoot shows?
I was just a Bruce Springsteen fan and saw so many shows. And after a while, I got a great hookup and was able to start shooting them, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, through Backstreet's Magazine, who...
Backstreet's back, all right.
Yeah.
Not that Backstreet's?
No. Backstreets is a song by Bruce Springsteen on his most famous album, at least I think, Born to Run. And that's the fan magazine, or like, the pseudo-official fan magazine of Bruce. And that's how I got kind of closer and closer into the Springsteen camp and was able to, work out an arrangement where I was able to shoot a lot. Sometimes full shows. Sometimes they scale that back. I get to shoot encores when special guests come up, stuff like that. But, I started that in 2007, and that has opened a lot of doors.
Well, so we don't need to go into too much detail because you can't because of whatever arrangement you have. But you started shooting shows in 2007 for the fan site?
Late 2007, right. And then we were contributors to the website and, whatever archival use they wanted.
So what happens? They come to you and go, we like what you've done. Do you want to do more? Basically, that's what they do.
Essentially, yeah.
So that's pretty good. And that opened up. What doors has it opened up that you can talk about?
Easily was able to shoot U2 for a bit. It paved the way to Getty because I was able to just produce so much portfolio-wise. That was great, and a lot of people saw my work just through Bruce. And from Bruce, I was also doing weddings prior to that. So that was just those were my two primary things, just Bruce and weddings, really. And that's basically it. Just from there, I in 2013, I think that was last year. Yeah, this is 2014. I signed with Getty. And I get the gigs from them, which has been sometimes great, sometimes a little boring. But they do a lot of paid gigs, which is nice too. Those are on buyouts, so you have to give out your images, and you don't get to keep the copyrights. So just portfolio use. But that's basically it.
So with Getty, I know I talked to Kravitz about this, and only time is going to tell. But the whole big thing about them allowing people to just take photos and put it on their websites without paying for them for non-commercial use,
yes, yeah.
Has that affected your bottom line?
I do not think so, no.
I haven't heard much about it. I haven't seen any websites using it personally that I've looked at. So maybe it was just a no big deal type of thing.
You know what? Pardon the pun, but I think it just gave them more exposure, or us more exposure. Again, a lot of people haven't used it really a lot. But I think when people do, people see images that they like, whether they buy a print, put it up on their own website and actually pay for it if it's for profit. I think it'll be a good thing. I don't think it's bad, which was what everyone's reaction was.
I think people overreact for everything, no matter what it is.
We're very sensitive, yeah.
But when talking to Kravitz, he wasn't reacting yet. He's like, or not even not Kravitz. I'm not talking about Kravitz. I meant to say Fusco. Mm-hmm. Fusco. I was talking to Fusco, not Kravitz. Sorry, I confused the two. I apologize, Mr. Kravitz. Fusco was like, I'm in a wait and see moment right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to see what happens before I pass judgment, because that's always what you need to do, instead of all the people that, like when Amazon, quote unquote, patented the white background in photos, which they didn't. They didn't. They were patenting something else. People were all like, this is an atrocity.
Right.
It's that, get angry and yell before you have your facts straight type of thing.
Well, that's the internet now.
That is the internet now, and it's affected a lot of things that we've done. So you just got back from Bannaroo.
I did.
How many years have you done Bannaroo?
This is my second shooting Bannaroo, and I feel like I've been doing it for 40 years, even though the festival's only 13 old. It's very very trying.
Yeah, a lot of nights spent up, partying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. How do you get shooting done?
Easily.
How many stages are there?
There are a total of 5 major two stages, 3 tents, and then a bunch of mini satellite stages.
And how in the world do you cover everything?
I don't. We have me, Jeff, and a bunch of other shooters. A total of, this year it was 5.
But they were all women, right?
No, our editors were all women.
I don't understand that. Can you go through the mentality of women being the editors for you? Just good-looking girls?
I don't do the hiring.
Who does the hiring?
You'll have to speak with Mr. Kravitz about that.
So really, I mean, he finds photographers, because people always want to know, how do I get a gig? How do I do this? How do I get that gig? I mean, Kravitz picks the people for that, right?
Yes.
And then do you get paid just to show up and shoot, or do you get paid when something sells?
To show up and shoot, because when we shoot for Bonnaroo, we're shooting on a buyout, and they provide us the access. We go out and basically destroy the festival for them as best we can, and they get all the images, and they pay us handsomely.
Were there any memorable moments, photo-wise, this year?
Cage the Elephant was pretty sick. I got a couple shots up on my Instagram right now. I think,
which is
at Zorn Photo, Zorn Photo. Cage the Elephant was really amazing. Their performance was fantastic. The way they perform is amazing. Matt Schultz is he's got to be on something. I don't know what it is. It must be just life and Bonnaroo there. Not to mention it was like 102 degrees, or at least it felt it. Wiz Khalifa was amazing. Lionel Richie was pretty fantastic. I'm not a big fan of the music, but he performed wonderfully. It sounded amazing, and got some good photos of him. Elton John was fantastic. I could go on.
Well, how was it working with the other photographers? Were there too many? Do they do a good job of limiting how many get into the show?
No.
So anybody can get in, basically?
Not anybody, but it's such a large festival that there are so many people who can apply legitimately and get credentialed, whether it's through some shitty blog, a major blog.
Wait, what are you trying to say? There's shitty blogs out there?
No. I didn't say that.
But see, with that being said, no, I do. There are a lot of shitty blogs. But when people say that they don't have an affiliation, you start a freaking blog.
Right.
You make it seem like you have something, because the people that are not hiring you, that are approving you, so poorly vet the photographers that they let in, that they're going to look at your page, and if it looks good and you've got a backlog of images and you have a lot of stories and you've done a lot of stuff, they're going to be like, okay. And I know we're giving all the secrets away, but...
Well, frankly, that's the key. Keeping up on your, whether it's social networking or just in-person networking. That is the key to success in this business, is knowing the right people and knowing how to use those relationships, create the relationships, foster them, and all that.
Right,
it's
so
huge.
I mean, that's how you in 2007 started getting the Springsteen thing going, and that opened up. Who are some of the big names that you've worked with?
Alicia Keys, Kanye.
This girl is on fire.
Damn, that was solid.
That was good. That was like her singing, right?
Kinda, not really. Kanye, and that was not a pleasant experience.
What'd you have to do for Kanye without getting sued?
Take pictures. That wasn't fun.
What live show?
Yeah. It was live coverage.
Oh, okay. Because you didn't. I mean, how about his latest beef with Annie Leibovitz?
I don't know about that.
Okay, so Annie Leibovitz, that's how you say it, not Witz, because there's a V in there. I've had to correct myself. Thank you to Alex Trebek for correcting me on that one.
He does that.
But it's correct.
Yeah.
Because if you said Leibovitz on Jeopardy, they would not give you the answer.
Well, they should, but it's so easy for him. He's got the cards.
Well, yes, he can see everything. But she was supposed to shoot the wedding or something, and then she decided not to pull out, and then they hired some 22-year-old Instagrammer kid who shot the wedding, and then he basically came out with a story about how he spent 4 days on their honeymoon. He and Kim spent 4 days, and they're so tired from editing that one photo that broke all the Instagram records that she's afraid of celebrity, Annie, and that's why she wouldn't shoot the wedding and all of this crap. And the bigger thing
that is
was
ridiculous.
Well, the bigger thing was you spent 4 days on your honeymoon editing this photo, and that is why you're tired. It's like, give me a freaking break. Anyway,
Bit of an overkill. Yeah.
Kanye, Alicia Keys, U2 you mentioned.
Sammy Hagar.
Do you know 3? His drum tech?
No.
You don't know 3? He's from local. He's local too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
His name's 3.
And that is more or less it. Paul McCartney once.
How was that?
Not as much access as I thought I was going to have, but it was cool.
When you do you do primarily live shots, or do you do behind-the-scene candid images?
I haven't really made my way over to that yet. I'd like to. It's tough. Danny Clinch has that pretty well nailed down. Not that I would consider that I'm in Danny's league. I hope you hear this, Danny.
I'm still trying to get him on.
Danny?
Yeah, I'm gonna start hammering them when Steven comes full time and we can go up to New York more often.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go up to the studio and I'm gonna get him on.
Good.
We're gonna talk about Leicas, black and whites, and images that may not be sharp. That sell for a ton of money.
That's real talk.
But I would wonder what he has to say about it.
Can't comment.
I'm just curious about what he has to say, not you. What he has to say. So you haven't moved into the candid stuff, which is when I started, it was mostly candids.
Yeah.
Because I'm
I've
tired.
seen your portfolio.
I'm tired of live shows. There's so many people in the pit. The shots all look the same. How do you keep the shots fresh?
The access helps, one. Two, if I don't have the access on a particular show, like Arcade Fire, for example, I just do whatever I can to make them look unique. I try to get different angles. If everyone's standing right in the center, which is what tends to happen, I try to go off to the sides and get some, different unique shots, different angle shots, different perspectives. I try to stop down a little bit, or stop or go all the way up. And just try to give it different looks, give different textures, stuff like that. You know, make it happen.
No, that's definitely good. Talk about the 3-song rule, because you have a little more insight into the origins of the 3-song rule.
Yeah, I don't have the full story at hand, but Bruce Springsteen was the pioneer of the 3-song and out rule, and that started, I think it was 1984, about 1985. And everyone kind of followed suit. Before that, it was the Wild West for us. It was great. It was wonderful. And he just, changed the game and got tired of seeing all those photographers, I guess. And that was pretty much it. Since then, it's been, 3 and out, 2 and out, 1 and out, no photos at all.
Wow, which is the worst thing. So you're in the pit a lot with other people. Talk about some pit etiquette. Pit etiquette with other photographers, and then the whole eating the microphone stuff.
Okay.
While you eat the microphone.
The key, yes, I keep forgetting. The key for people in the pit is, number one, is to respect everyone else and know that everyone there has the exact same job to do that you do, which means understand that they're trying to get all the different angles and try to get different looks, so you have to move your body and pick and choose your spots. And once you're standing in a spot for more than maybe 10 seconds, you have to move and let someone else in. That's key. Gear, Fro, you're guilty of this.
That one time.
That one time, but that one time is enough.
Go ahead. Tell me why I was guilty.
You brought a backpack, a step stool, which I understand. I think 3 bodies maybe.
I only own one.
Okay.
It's all good.
So it was extra lenses then, to a 200, 400. I know you had the 200, 400. Then you had, I think, a 300 or something. No, what did you have? It seemed like a lot of stuff. And then you had a tripod or a monopod or something. Because
I wasn't going to handhold it. The problem was I was supposed to shoot from the soundboard.
And then you had strobes. No, I'm kidding.
And then I had strobes. And then I had 3 assistants. No, I was supposed to shoot from the soundboard. And that's why the 200, the 400 was there. No, yes. That's why I had that. And I absolutely know that the backpack was a problem. The backpack was what I put the lens in to carry it there. We have no place to put it at that show because the way that the pit was. Normally the pit's larger. We can put stuff down to the side.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it was bad because they rushed us right in, and I didn't even have time to take the backpack off.
But that's to be expected.
I don't do a lot of those live shows anymore. And part of it is because of the way that it's set up. That's why I try when I shoot to get access to do things that other people don't get access to do.
And that's what you should do.
If you can.
Yeah.
I mean, that is definitely a way to do it. So what is more etiquette?
Try to be understanding of the fact, or aware of the fact, that there are people behind you and to the side of you. So when you throw up your arm to go for that sick vertical, you don't have that flying elbow. You got to really tuck it in. You got to kind of keep your arms within your shoulders. Here we go, back on the mic. Within your shoulders. And when you move, you got to be aware of who's behind you and to the side of you, so you don't take them out. You can't just walk blindly. That happens a lot. Pisses me off to no end.
Well, they get 1 free pass and then a foot in the ass after that.
Or the 200 F2 on the head.
Oh,
yeah,
that wouldn't feel too good.
No,
it's just. But there are those pit etiquette things. So how about shooting wise? Eating the microphone, like number one thing, you will not be able to sell an image if somebody's eating a microphone.
Well, you will be able to if it's the best. If it's not even if it's the best image, if it's a decent image, and people want to use it, because that's the only thing you have.
Sure,
that's all that's available. But it doesn't make for great images, and you can't yell at the band for eating the microphone.
No, but that's why understand, like watching videos of the bands before, knowing what hand they hold the mic with, how they look on stage, and what side to stand on. Because so many times, you said this earlier, that you try to go to the sides, the left, the right, try to do things that are a little different.
Right.
Which is funny because Eckert does that. I do that. And we see these other photographers all just chasing the lead singer or hanging out in the middle, looking straight up, shooting up their nostrils. And they don't make for good images, generally.
Those are the new guys. Those are the new guys, the new cameras and maybe 1 or 2 lenses. And
or iPhones.
Whatever. It's true, actually, and iPhones.
Was there any Bannaroo iPhones in the pit?
No, point and shoots. There might have been 1 or 2, but I don't remember. I don't think I saw them. I lost where we were at.
The new people in the pit.
Yeah. So the new people, you can spot them very easily. The gear, where they stand, how they shoot it, whether they move or not. That's key. And those people you won't see for very long. So if you've got staying power, they don't. So don't worry about it.
So you were talking about walking past Skrillex playing and something about blowing out your ear.
Yes, I was doing some stage shots, and that worked out great because he was in this spaceship, and that's pretty much the only way I could actually get shots of him. It was just this weird, like, downward angle spaceship, and you know how it is with the DJ booths.
No, wait. For anybody not watching at home, you may want to watch this. This is a DJ booth. This is what they do. Wait for it. 3, 2, 1. And just do that. Wait. Now the other one.
And he's killing it.
And there's your EDM.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And what happened was I was shooting there and went to go get some, again, different angles. I went down into the pit, and as I was walking into the pit, I just went by his, I don't think it was his speakers, but just the way he had the speaker set up or rigged or whatever it was, and they just blew out so much bass that my ear just went bam, and I couldn't hear anything.
How do you not wear earplugs at a show?
Because I really like to hear everything that's going on. Whether I'm boring, I'm shooting a wedding, or I'm shooting some of the most I'm shooting some of the most amazing concerts on the planet. I want to hear the atmosphere. I want to hear everything.
Have you ever used a good set of earplugs? Custom molded earplugs that are designed for people like us.
No,
because
people like us.
I think it's abject lunacy. I'll use that word. To not wear ear protection.
What'd you say?
Ear protection. Ear protection?
I'm kidding.
In the pit. With as many shows that you shoot, with being so close to, if anybody has ever been in the pit at one of those huge rock shows in a stadium, you know that it vibrates your chest.
Yes.
You can barely breathe because of the vibrations coming out of the speakers. That has to be doing such tremendous damage to your ears. The earplugs that I use are custom molded. It's like $170. So for $200 with the mold and everything, they drop the levels 25 decibels.
Okay.
I think I hear the music better. I think I hear the crowd better. I think I pay attention better. I think I'm able to get better photos because I have quality earplugs in.
Right.
Ultimate Ears makes these.
Okay.
Other people make $13 ones that are better than the foam ones.
Oh, like the jelly ones or whatever.
Well, they're the
waxy.
3-step ones. Etymotic Research makes a 3-step.
Oh, I got you.
It's just that if you're going to be shooting a ton of shows and you want to spend some money, they're custom molded to your ears. I don't even know that they're actually working, but they're cutting down so much noise that you can understand the music better and you're not going to be deaf.
Right.
That's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
You won't be deaf.
Noted, Fro. Noted.
So, sorry, RAW versus JPEG.
I prefer RAW. I don't prefer it. I pick it. I do RAW, period. Unfortunately, some of the jobs that I work, whether it's with Getty, Wire, Filmmagic, or even other clients, I have to go large. Or frankly, at Bannaroo, the editors request that we shoot in medium, and I'm trying to explain to them that when you go from medium or large to medium on Canon, you lose like 10 million colors on the gamut. And
They're like, what? Gamut?
They don't care.
Game of Thrones?
They don't care that that they say that we're just putting up shots on the site. You're not making a poster, and I'm.
But that's not the fucking point.
Exactly. Thank you.
Excuse my language.
Thank you. Fuck. Yes.
It's not the point. It's just such bullshit. And that's why I have trouble working for people, because when they start coming up with asinine statements like that, we don't need to go into the whole RAW versus JPEG thing. We understand what you get out of RAW. But when anybody's like, well, I'm not making a poster out of it, it's just like, are you just taking snapshots? Because it seems, I'm not saying you, but yes, you are, because that's what they're doing it for.
Yes.
But it seems like these images are here now, gone the next minute, and nobody gives a shit. Do you think they're going to live on?
I'll make sure of that.
You'll make sure of what you've got because you have access to certain people. But there's so much. I mean, do you think that Getty is just living in the now?
I follow you.
They have to get the stuff up right away, and if they don't, then they're out. But then the images, nobody uses them. There's a shelf life that's over.
No, not necessarily. Great shots that sit in the archives get picked up, and they get picked up regularly.
But do you think great shots are happening from the pit with 1 million people in it shooting almost the same exact thing?
Yes.
You still think it's
Yes.
happening?
Not in large part, but yes. Yeah.
Because I just feel that being stuck in a pit and not being on stage and not getting the behind the scenes access and not doing something. I'm not saying you're not doing. I'm pontificating
I
here
follow.
about the whole industry. Is that it just seems that a lot of the stuff that comes out of the pit in the first 3 songs are snapshots because that's what you can get. And it's like, so you get this awesome shot one night of somebody jumping. The next night they're in a new city. They're going to jump at the same point, at the same show, at the same time.
Sure.
And so that's all I'm trying to get at is it doesn't seem that it's unique.
It's stale and redundant, but
So-
you can still make that particular moment look a lot better than someone else can.
And being that you shoot for Getty and they don't, means that your image is going to get out there quicker and be bought more so than somebody else.
Exactly.
So how do you make money in photography?
Sales through Getty, weddings.
And you're not afraid to say weddings.
No, not at all. I love doing the weddings. I can't stand the business.
Right. You love the day of shooting.
Yes.
But you hate the, hey, I'm getting married in 2016. Can I book you now?
I don't mind that.
You don't
know?
mind that?
I just want to fill my calendar. I want to keep busy. I love shooting. Weddings, again, are great to shoot. Sometimes weddings are awful because they're just lame and in a barn and not done up nicely. But when they're done well, it really is a wonderful thing to shoot. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Music, weddings. What else?
Those are my 2 things. Red carpets I do for Getty. I do private parties for them. I just did Ray-Ban did a party in New York at some like loading dock type place for a launch of their new 1937 throwback, whatever. But Debbie Harry performed. So
Call me.
Yes,
Come on.
she did that.
Call me. She looks so good today.
She was like she's like 70 and she's still raging
she's
hard.
70
raging hard.
now?
She's got to be, man.
But she looked 70 when she was
Yes.
30.
Yeah. But she's still going at it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. At
So
least
that was fun.
She survived because not everybody survived that era. So when you started shooting shows, you said in 2007. Was photography always a passion, or is it something that you just picked up and was like, boom, photography?
I worked on Wall Street for about 10 years prior to that.
That explains something.
What does that explain?
Nothing.
I want to hear this.
Well, keep talking. I'll get back to
All right,
that.
we'll get here. I worked on Wall Street for about 10 years. Got tired of the daily grind, and I just felt like I wasn't making anything, wasn't creating anything, wasn't doing anything special. And photography was always something that I loved, and I did as far back as I can remember. Not very well, but I just got to a point with Wall Street where I just couldn't take it anymore, and I just wanted to jump on the photography train.
When did you get out of Wall Street?
2000 and
Before 7 and 8, so before the bust.
2006. Yeah, it was. I've been pretty good with the timing on Wall Street, but yeah, I was done.
Well, that's good. And see, that brings up an interesting point. It's always good knowing people's backstories because a lot of people, kids coming out of school don't have that cachet of experience in the real world.
Right.
Or the money in the bank account.
Yeah.
A lot of photographers that I've talked to that have become either successful later on in life as photographers or, in their 30s and 40s, they've had other jobs that have sustained them for a long time.
Exactly.
So we talk.
You need funding.
You need the funding, and I talked about this last week on the business of photography that we did with RAWtalk, and somebody called me out for saying basically the same thing, but not the same thing, but the exact opposite of something I said earlier. So contradicting myself.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, 9 to 5 is the death of a photographer, a 9 to 5 job. If you're not if you're working a desk job all day because you can't get anything done. But then I said, well, don't leave your 9 to 5 until you have enough money or a way to sustain yourself or enough jobs coming in. There's a trade-off.
Absolutely.
You have to do a little bit of both. If you're working that 9 to 5, you need to find the times that you can shoot. You need to take those weekends, fill them up. You need to take that day off when you need to get a job done. But it's all trying to figure it out.
Absolutely. I agree.
And yeah, you agree. Good. What other? Everybody wants to know how to make money with photography.
Me too.
And that isn't that unto itself the answer? we're always seeking the way, and there's no secrets to how to be successful at it. And you just have to find what works for you. So you showing up or doing something in 2007 has opened up some doors for you to get to the people that you needed to get to.
Right.
So how important has, okay, did you start off doing that work for nothing?
I shot on spec and dealt with licensing if they wanted to pick them up, and web fees if they ran them on the web, which they did most frequently, or on Bruce's site as well. And that was it.
Have you found it's been difficult to get people to pay for images today?
No.
Because you're working for Getty?
Yes.
If you were on your own, you think it would be more difficult?
Probably.
So it's just a matter of getting in with somebody.
That's huge, man. Again, back to the networking. That's what it's all about. It's who you know, who you work for, where you've been. Those are all major selling points when it comes to whether it's booking a photographer, selling his, or buying his image, or just establishing a relationship, another relationship, a new one.
Which is all good stuff.
It's helpful.
It's all good to get to know people because you could sit at home and never get a job and wonder why.
Well, I sit at home a lot.
You have kids.
I have 2 kids, exactly.
And a wife.
Right.
You live in a nice area, I think. I don't think I've stalked your Facebook page to see I think I've seen your house. I think. I don't know.
Maybe.
I just know that you were out of the house for a while.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that probably was tough with living in a hotel and stuff like that for a while. I've got a couple more questions, I think. Oh, the future of music photography. What do you see for the next 5 years of music photography?
I see it getting tougher, but are tougher for people to get credentialed and get the access. But I also see a lot of the digital photographers who are just swarming the pits of late, and frankly, the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years. I think that's going to be like revolutionary. They're just going to get spat out, and then there's going to be a new bunch, and they're going to be spat out, and that's just the way it's going to work. And then the people who have longevity will stay.
Which is funny because we see the same people in the pit, the same 4 or 5, show after show after show, and then you see the other people, and then you don't see them again, and then you see new people coming in, and you guys are still there getting the gig. I mean, it's nice having the Getty gig, obviously, because they help you get in the door for certain things.
Right.
That definitely helps. But you took an aerial. Did you take the drone to Bannaroo?
No, Kravitz was supposed to bring that. I don't know what happened there. I ended up just going up in the helicopter, Bonnaroo's helicopter.
Oh, Bannaroo has a helicopter.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Right. Exactly.
Why not have a helicopter?
Send people ripped out of their face up in a helicopter.
Is that what they do?
No, I didn't say that. I was just kidding.
They signed a release that says we're not responsible for
because you're out of your face.
People, yes. So you love shooting these festivals?
Oh my God, yeah. It's so raw and visceral. It's amazing.
So the one question is that I asked you earlier before we started is where do you stay? Because there's so many people there.
Well, it varies year to year. Typically, it is in the there's an RV camp for people who work for the festival, artists and shit like that, who stay right behind the main stage, which is called the What Stage at Bannaroo.
Who?
The What Stage.
What?
Yeah. What? Which?
Who?
That.
What's on first?
Tent. The other tent.
Well, that's
and
good.
This tent.
Well, at least they go by that.
Yeah.
Or this.
Or the other.
What?
The other. Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. But logistically, they're numbered, so it's a little easier to get around.
So you're staying basically backstage?
Yeah.
Which is cool. You're there partying. How much sleep do you get?
I see the sunrise every day.
And then the show starts.
The shows pick up around 12:45, so I probably get like 5 hours in.
Oh, that's not bad.
But they're solid hours.
But you also have editors. You have these other people do. You shoot. They edit and they deliver.
Yeah, but they party too. So I mean, they have to get back and get their editing in usually at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And by the time they're done, they're got a couple hours of sleep and they have to get up.
That's crazy. So there's a lot that goes into this. So if we're gonna wrap it up,
yeah.
What? Give me some words of wisdom for people out there, my readers or people trying to make it as photographers, business-wise, not just saying music, but what are some tips you can say for how they can start getting gigs and getting paid?
That's a good question. Again, I'll just fall back to the networking. One, that's really key. Being very persistent, being very pushy, but also being patient. When you do get to shoot, anticipate the shots and be patient in the pit for that. Hopefully it'll be better than the pit, but to begin with, it's probably the pit. Sometimes it's the soundboard, which is brutal. And just stick with it. If you believe in yourself and you have good shots to fall back on that you feel good about, just keep sticking with it and don't give up. It's tough. It's tough out there, but stick with it. I mean, I think I've been doing it for since 2007 at least. That's 7 years. 2014. I didn't really start killing it until like 2 years ago.
So it's a good 5 years.
Yeah.
Before, I mean, that's one of the things people think it's going to happen right away.
No.
And this is one of those long haul. I mean, some people can make it right away.
Yeah.
Very few make it right away, but it's about finding, you got to find your way.
Right. This is not where you go for instant gratification at all.
No.
If that's what you need and you're sensitive, this is not the business.
And then don't leave your job to become a full-time photographer before you're a photographer.
Right. Don't call yourself a full-time photographer until your income or revenue stream from photography trumps what you're making at another job. And don't give that up until then.
Sure. So what's next for you?
What's next for me?
What's the future hold?
That's a good question.
More kids?
No, sir. Done. I got 2 kids. I have 2 girls and a wife. So, I mean, I'm just happy to be here and have someone who's willing to listen to me.
Good.
Cool. And whatever Getty throws at me, I'm ready to go.
And what if Getty sells again and goes out of business? I mean, they're not going out of business, but what happens they restructure again?
Well, shit, I'll get a boat and do some fishing tours.
Exactly. Cool. All right, Michael, thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed that. What's your website?
Zorn Photography, Zorn Photography. That doesn't have a lot of late stuff. My best stuff and latest stuff is on Instagram, Facebook. Check me out there.
Can I rip on your website for a second?
Oh, God, yes, please.
Why do you have a song that auto-plays on your website?
I didn't do that, but I still have to pull that down, and I've been meaning to redo my website for probably 8-9 months, and I have so much stuff to put up there that I just haven't gotten to.
Can you use Squarespace?
What is that?
I'm going to show you how to use Squarespace. It's going to be very simple for you to use, really easy.
You don't know me.
It's going to be very simple for you to use. We talk about it. My site's based off of Squarespace, really easy, and you'll like it for the mobile site ability. Mm-hmm. Not just the mobile site, but there's Steve and I are going to make this video soon, but they have an app that you download that will automatically propagate on your iPhone all of your portfolio and stuff. So when you're not connected to the internet, you can still show people your portfolio on your site.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty huge, and it's something that I didn't even know about till they sent it to me, and now yes, we'll talk about it. Anyway, Michael, thank you for coming out.
Right on, brother. Absolutely. You know it.
And there we go, and we'll be right back to finish up RAWtalk. So there you have it. That was the interview with Mr. Michael Zorn. I think you guys should check out his Instagram because he's always posting behind-the-scenes images with these artists, and it's just pretty cool how he made it. So you definitely can take some of the things that he said and try them out yourself. So we're going to jump into the Wheel of Fro at this point and then get into Gear of the Week. Now, you may notice something different if you're watching. If you're listening at home, you won't know anything's different because, well, you can't see it. There is one slot that has a new graphic in it, and it's behind the plastic. It's Adorama Pics. I wish that the Adorama Pics was maybe stroked in white.
The actual logo itself?
Yeah, the logo had some stroke to it.
Yeah, because you can't really see it.
Yeah, maybe you'll see it on the camera better.
Yeah.
I don't know. But basically what happened is Donovan Green reached out to me, no relation to Sam Green, and he's a graphic design student. He's in college, and he asked if he could make the graphics for the wheel, so I gave him the specs. He sent me the files. I'm like, lay it out on a 20 by 30. Actually, I said 24 by 36 first, but I didn't realize that Adorama Pics, for some reason, doesn't print photos larger than 20 by 30 except for the metal ones.
I don't know why they don't do
bigger. That makes
bigger.
no sense. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to talk to them about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, we cut one of them up, or I cut it up, and then Sutter took home the ones last week, the rest of them to cut up. Sutter, what happened to them?
I cut them all up the day I left your loft last week. I set them on my shelf in my room this morning. I grabbed them, brought them down to my kitchen table while I was eating breakfast.
What'd you have for breakfast?
I had waffles, blueberry waffles with peanut butter in between. I made a little sandwich.
Wow.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Not
it's
very
weird, but
nutritious.
believe me, it tastes good. And my little brother called me, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sick. Can you go pick me up from school?"
Come on, bro.
Wait, did he have to call from the office?
Yeah, so I had no idea who was calling me. I guess my mom wasn't home, so he called me. And I was like, crap, I was just about to leave to come here, so I just grabbed my bag, ran
So
out
the moral of the
door.
story,
I left
Sutter,
him on the table.
is that you forgot him.
I forgot him.
You should have called Sam Green to bring him over.
Yeah, he's probably doing absolutely nothing right
He's probably sitting there being like sniffing his colloidian plates. Okay.
Yeah, seriously.
So what we have on the
I will say before you get into that, the guy who did Donovan, you said his name was
Donovan Green.
did a great job.
He did.
They look great. The Adorama one should be a little have some shadow or something behind
Yeah,
it, though.
well, maybe he'll redo them, and then I'll get more prints made. But
That's the
but
only
I,
one, yeah.
I asked him what he wanted. He said he wanted to spin the wheel.
Oh, that's
so
great.
he's going to get to spin the wheel this week. On the wheel is Lexar. We got Adorama picks. We got the Fronos photo guides, which, by the way, on the next one, it's just going to say Fro prize. That's what we had made so that you guys can pick a Fro prize for me, or I'll just pick a Fro prize to give you.
Or you'll probably give them all three of your
Or I'll
guys.
probably just give you everything. You've got a question mark Rode microphone that it landed on last week. So you had Rode that it landed on, and Robert Timko is getting a Video Mic Go.
Nice.
Think Tank Photo, Adorama picks again. Do I have 3 of them on there? I have
I guess so.
3 Adorama picks. That's weird. Oh, maybe because I don't know what. Well, I'll shut up. Borrow lenses, $200 in credit. Was it $250?
$250.
$250?
Yes.
Yeah, $250 in credit. Squarespace is a free year of the business one. A Fro guide, a Black Rapid strap, Fro guide, Think Tank, Rode, Fro, Adorama picks,
Have
borrow
we
lenses.
land on Think Tank before?
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we have. So it's time for what is it time for? Wheel of Fro! And spinning this week is Mr. Donovan Green, who made the new thing that will be up hopefully next week if Sutter doesn't forget it. Watch your face.
I'm watching.
Here's the bobblehead. Where's it going to stop? I don't know. Round and round it goes. Where's it going to stop? Nobody knows. The Wheel of Fro has a mind of its own, and it's going to stop. There's a question mark. In the Rode microphone. I wonder if they're going to start yelling at me.
Why is it all the time it lands on
I mean,
Rode?
that's good. It's a Rode. It's like a good plug for them that it lands on it again. I just hope they don't start yelling at me.
I mean, there's only 2 roads on there, too.
I know.
So it's not like it's Adorama where there's 3.
Right.
If anything, they should be yelling at you.
They don't yell. Well, I think it's good because Rode Microphone is a sponsor of the show, and they give us these microphones to use on the show, and we used it to make the audio from the bobblehead, which so happens to be Gear of the Week this week. I talked about this at the beginning of the show, but I'm very, very happy with the way this turned out. The video we came up with, I got to talk about collaboration, because when you came over, you didn't know. I said I wanted to make a spoofy video
I
about.
had no idea what we were doing.
I wanted to make a spoofy video like I did with the when I released hoodies back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I was sleeping, and I'm like, I should do Steve Jobs on stage type of thing, wear black. And then you're like, what about the commercial with the all white thing?
Well, you said let's do an Apple spoof, and I thought you meant those commercials.
And I wasn't thinking that.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant.
But then we pulled it up on the Apple TV, on my TV, through my Apple phone, through my iPhone, and we pulled it up, and we're like, yeah. And then we sat here, we came up with some triggers for me to talk about.
Yeah.
And then when we did, we had like 8 lights set up.
Dude, we had every Kino you have, which you have like 8. Yeah.
Every keynote was set up, and we sat there, or I sat there, and we did 2 cameras with the D610s, and just riffed off the top of my head making this thing.
Yeah.
And then you took it home. You found we bought licensed royalty-free
Audio
music
Blocks, yeah.
from Audio Blocks.
And I found like the perfect inspirational song. I went through like 30 songs, man, and then I was like, this one is, I think, the best.
No, it's perfect.
It's so Apple.
I've watched that video 7 times, and it's made me laugh each time.
And the other thing is we filmed that video for a 3-minute video. It took us freaking like 5 hours. And on top of that, I had to go through nearly an hour of footage and narrowed it down to like 15 minutes to like 8 minutes to 4 minutes to finally got like the best of the best with honor, sir.
Yeah.
And
which didn't make the bobblehead. That was one of the terms that we did record, but it didn't make it to the bobblehead.
You're right, it didn't. Yeah, because we can only fit 30 seconds. And when we recorded it, I remember we did like a makeshift studio in here. I threw like a blanket over you.
Yep.
Because your apartment is so reflective, crazy reflective.
Yeah, and we used this microphone. We used the Rode microphone, and when it plays back, it's playing back on this built-in speaker.
I think it's time for a Ranty McRanterson.
And that sounds so much better than the other sample bobbleheads you have.
Oh, yeah.
Like the other stuff is terrible sounding.
So this is something I've always wanted to do. I think it's a fun little toy for you to put on your shelf or to put at your desk, and just if you liked it, I mean, it's definitely cool. Now, I will tell you that shipping is one of those interesting things these days because it is £1.50, but hopefully it gets there in one piece. I've had a couple that they've shipped from China that they did a terrible job packaging.
Oh yeah,
that like I fixed with
the
crazy
first,
glue.
like, demo pieces.
The first demo they ruined because they didn't pack it well. But these come in, they're in styrofoam. They're in a shipping box already. They come with the batteries already installed. There's a switch on the bottom that you will switch on, and if it doesn't work at that point, you have to unscrew the bottom just to pull out the tab. Because the reason I got tabs put in these things is because if I'm sitting, I had to order 1,000 of them. And unless I'm selling 1,000 right away, that's very. I mean, that's a limited quantity because that is limited because I don't know that I'll redo it again because pricing and stuff. But I didn't want them sitting and have the batteries going bad. And also, here's some tidbit.
Don't they have an on-off switch though?
They do, but the batteries, if they leak, or that's why it's good to have a tab
corrosive
there
or something. Yeah.
When I was first making them, they're like, "Well, we'll do it with a button batteries. It'll take like 3 or 4 of those."
I was gonna bring that up, yeah.
And I said no, and it cost me, I think, 50 cents more per unit for them to do it with a AA thing, but everybody has AAs.
Oh, it makes it way easier for everyone else.
Right, so I wanted to make it easier on people, not harder, because where button batteries?
The watch batteries, yeah, they're like impossible to find
So
half the time.
everybody has AAs. So that's why they're AAs. You get a ton of clicks out of it, they said, and other than that, I think it turned out really, really well.
And that the actual you on the bobblehead, we took pictures of you, kind of like a 3D thing.
Oh, yeah.
I just made you stand there and we lit you up and then you just turned slightly and I kept taking pictures.
Right, because this is molded. Somebody did mold this, and it is made in China. Somebody did mold it by hand, and then they're all hand painted, all 1,000 of them.
They did a great job.
And glued together.
Yeah.
So that's what we've got. Those are available at store.froknowsphoto.com. Don't forget to check out Froknows Movies at youtube.com/FroknowsMovies, or you can go to FroknowsMovies.com, which takes you right over to YouTube at this point. And if you want to listen to those, they're on iTunes. And then if you want to check out all of the photo news stories and more, you can go to FroknowsPhoto.com/RAWtalk-91, because this is the 91th week of doing Raw Talks, and that is where we're going to pretty much leave it for now.
This is an early Raw Talk. We didn't go past like an hour and a half, I don't think, right?
Yeah, we're at 50 minutes right now, and it was a
blows my mind.
50 minutes on this
40-minute
40-minute interview.
Yeah, but that's about an hour and a half, roughly.
That's good. Well, it's packed full of information.
Yeah.
Packed full. It's time for flying solo. just kidding. Gotcha. Got him. All right, so guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please watch on YouTube. Please pick up the Froknows Photo bobblehead. Oh, and one thing I didn't say is these are going to ship by themselves, I believe, because it's flat rate shipping and they're already in a box. We're just going to put the stickers on them and just get them to you guys.
What do you mean the bobbleheads are going to ship themselves?
Meaning they are not really, like, if you buy a shirt and you buy something else,
they're going to come by itself, yeah.
They're going to come most likely separately, unless we figure out a way to, unless I've got the boxes to put them in and it doesn't kill people for shipping. I still have to figure that stuff out, but there's some things, you win at some things and you don't win at others.
Yeah.
So that's it. So there you guys have it. That's Raw Talk episode number 91. Thank you guys for watching. Jared Polin, Froknows Photo.com. Hold on.
See ya.
See ya.